How novel. Good evening. It's good to be in Perquimans. I've driven through Perquimans a few times, but I've not spent a lot of time in Perquimans, so I'm glad to be here. I am Brad Murphy, and yes, my brother is Greg Murphy. It's not Dr. Greg Murphy. I grew up in Raleigh. I met my wife Julie of 42 years on a school bus at 14. We were best friends at 16, and we were married at 18. If it wasn't for our faith in God, we would definitely not have been married 42 years. I can say that with conviction. We have two very successful adult kids, a 31-year-old named Ashley, who has a thriving internet business, and a son named Brett Allen, who's 29 and works for Elon Musk. And I'm going to tell a little short story about Brett Allen because it's, I think, pretty relevant to a lot of concerns we have as parents. He was dyslexic. We grew up in Raleigh, and everyone said, well, Wake County's a great school system, and they provided all this help, and he struggled. So thankfully, we had the privilege to be able to have my wife stay at home and homeschool him, and she did all the way to college. When he got to school, they were like, well, you don't have an academic career that we can really measure, so we don't see a need to give you sort of any academic scholarship help. 4 years later, he graduates valedictorian in aerospace mechanical engineering. Today is 100 engineers, all from MIT, all pointy-headed guys from MIT and Stanford working for him. My point is this: we don't need professional educators to know as parents what's best for our kids. And so I'm going to talk a little bit later about one of my priorities for DC, which is about school choice. My business career. I've created more jobs, 5,000 in my career, lucrative digital jobs, more than anybody else combined in the Republican and the Democratic race for District 1. And I've already started to work for District 1. I have a vision for building a bridge between urban centers and rural eastern North Carolina. I have a saying: I can take a kid with aptitude from minimum wage to middle class in 4 months. I already have 3 Fortune 50 companies committed to come here and build that bridge with us, and a training company will come here for free to do the work. So I'm not waiting to get voted to work for District 1. I want to talk about Washington, inflation, and the economy. I believe that there's a very high likelihood we'll go into recession in the next 6 months, largely because of the inflation that we've seen, largely as a result of policies of the Biden administration. Make sure you send somebody to Washington who understands global economics and business. Make sure you're not sending a politician. Make sure you're sending someone who doesn't need this job, but wants to do this job. The reason that we have a problem with gasoline and oil is because we haven't had a coherent energy policy in 50 years. A coherent energy policy isn't just about drilling oil. It's about renewables and it's about nuclear, and we've been asleep at the wheel for 5 decades. Big tech. I walk the hallways of every big tech company there is. I know the executives, I know the leaders. We have to regulate them in an appropriate way. They've censored every voice that disagrees with the left. By the way, being a tech entrepreneur is a little bit like being actor in Hollywood. If you go to my website, bradmurphyforcongress.com, you will see me sit down for 30 minutes with a journalist and unpack every issue that our country is facing and hear me talk through the solutions that I have. I hope you'll get to know me better. I hope you'll consider me on May 17th. And thank you for your time.